Can you imagine somebody who come back with only that $20 million there, and them decides that they're going to build an apartment, and in the middle of that, money run out. Them don't have no money. Them stuck in Jamaica now because them return. Them have to either go back now to go work, right? And if them retire, yeah.
There's no need to complicate things. Let's stick to the basics. We both know what we want. Let's just.
If you are a returning resident or somebody living overseas at home in time, you're looking to come back to Jamaica. I want you to understand something, and it's something that I have noticed, really. I want you to understand that people don't really want to hear the truth, and sometimes the truth is, it's a bitter pill to swallow, right? It's a bitter pill to swallow. So I posted a video the other day stating that if you're coming back to Jamaica and you are thinking, or you have the thought that, hey, you know, you're gonna come back to Jamaica with a certain amount of money, say $20 million, and you're going to be able to build an apartment, you know, this is not a realistic expectation. You need to really rethink what you're doing and look at putting things in place early on in the game, so that you are in a better position when you actually do decide to come back to Jamaica and you know, build the apartment. The reality is this: most people, when they want to build, because they don't, or they did not plan enough, and they don't have a realistic expectation of what it should cost, they end up starting construction and cannot finish. And that is the reason why there are so many unfinished buildings around the country. If you drive in Jamaica, you're gonna see a lot of unfinished buildings. Why? Because somebody started construction with an expectation that their money is going to stretch, and that dream becomes either a nightmare or it becomes a shock. Like, you realize very fast that construction is very costly. Now, I don't say that to discourage you. If you're a Jamaican living overseas and you're coming back, it is good that you want to do the apartment. It's good that you want to build a duplex. It's great. I applaud that. But start from a position of knowledge. Start from a position where you actually know, okay, this is what it's going to take to get it done. It doesn't mean that you don't start. If you have the $20 million and you have decided, you have made a calculated decision, you have made an informed decision that I want to build an apartment, right? And you get the information that, okay, it's not going to cost me $20 million to build that apartment. Rather, it's going to cost me twice that, or even 3 times that. You are now in a better position to actually achieve that dream, right? Achieve that goal. But if you start not knowing, right, or you start with delusion that, hey, I have 20 million and I'm going to build an apartment, you're going to end up not being able to build it, one, and you're going to have spent a lot of money. You're going to tie up a lot of your money building an apartment, right, unintentionally. So it's not that you made a decision and say, okay, I have $20 million now, we can start, and I'm going to start to this point. And I'm going to build a section here. Maybe I maybe because the apartment cost me 100 million, or is going to cost 100, but I have 20. Maybe I can start this section and I'm going to build to this point and stop, and then start from there forward. Now, how does this link back to design? It links back to design in the sense that if you're designing a home, and I do it all the time with my clients, I have that consultation with them to actually know what that budget is. As a designer, as an architectural designer, I can design a project that is going to be anything, right? If I don't know that your budget is, say, 20 million, and you come to me and say, AJAWI, I get it a lot. AJAWI, I want to build a house, I want to design a property. And when I ask certain questions, they're like, it's going to be 5,000 square feet, right? A lot of people, they will come and they will say, AJAWI, I want to design a property, right? It's an investment property. I want a couple of apartments on it. And when I take them through the consultation, right? They may say, yeah man, the property going to be, say, 5,000 square feet or 6,000 square feet off the bat. And when you ask them, how much, what's the budget looking like? And they tell you, I have 20 million. They don't understand. You don't understand that the size of the building, that size building, I can design it, right? I can design it. The design can show you that 20,000 square feet, right? But I would have been designing something for you, knowing that there is no way you can build it. And the point at which you find out would be when you actually start construction. Immediately as you break ground and then start big foundation, and you get the first bill, you're gonna realize that the money that you had, the money you thought would have covered everything, immediately just evaporated. Yeah, construction is unforgiving. As in, if it's gonna take you $10 to build something, it's gonna cost you that $10, right? Unless you're going to cut corners. The minute you start cutting corners, you can't expect to get what you intended, right? So it is, people don't like to hear the truth, or they don't. I don't know why. I don't see why it's so easy for people to get ripped off when you have information out there. Like, I literally created a YouTube channel just to bring people information, right? And I literally tell people, like, within our consultation, I tell all my clients, this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is how it's supposed to be done, step by step. And people don't like to go through that. They rather hear what sounds good, right? But they end up in a situation where when the construction starts, that's when they're running around. Don't approach it from that perspective. From the design stage, you want to be thinking about what a construction value is. Simply because if you don't tie it to the actual construction, you don't tie your design to the actual construction, you're going to design something and you're going to be one of those people who tie up a lot of money in a building and can't use it. And an investment in a property that is not being utilized, a waste of money, right? To have a building, I drove around and see people build like 5-story building, concrete, and them can't finish it. And I know they spent millions of dollars in it. I don't want, for me personally, I don't want to design a building that somebody end up starting and can't finish. I like whenever I design something, it actually can be built. So that's why the initial stage, it is a feasibility study. How feasible is this project, right? How feasible is this project with your intended budget? And how do I now get you to actually start thinking about that construction budget and it being feasible? Meaning, if you come to me and say, boy, Andre, I want to do a 5,000 square feet building, right? And I know for a fact that it's not possible with a $20 million budget. It is, what did I say, unreasonable of me. And it is crazy for me to sit down and design something simply because I gave you a cheap price to make it possible for me to design it, right? That is why it is important that the cost of the design is linked to the size of the building, because the minute you start to design or you start the conversation off with, oh, it's a 5,000 square feet building, and I calculate it based on that size, and I tell you this is what the cost for the design is. The minute you see it go over a certain number, if you are not in a position to actually build the building, not gonna pay so much money for it. So it kind of tie you in so that you understand that there is a relationship, and that relationship requires certain things. It's like any relationship that you have. If you don't give, you're not going to get. Not going to get. So it is very important. I'm not telling you, I don't bring the information because I want you to come to do business with me. I give you the information because I want Jamaica on a whole, people that are coming back, to actually come back and build and see some nice house, and the country can be in a better position rather than you drive around and within an area pay unfinished building, pay rundown property, I say, right? It's not good for the country overall. So that's why I'm so passionate about it, because I want to see, especially my projects, especially projects that I design, I want to see them built and built according to design. And most of the people who build it, them build it according to budget, because at the end of the day, it does help me. Once I know that that has been, I designed it and the person actually finished it, it adds to my reputation. So it's a bit selfish to some extent, right? When I tell people, say, hey, this budget that you have cannot build that. It's selfish in the sense that I don't want to sit and waste time to design something knowing that you'll never be able to build it, right? Unless you tell me, okay, Andre, I'm going to get help from X and Y and Z, or I don't mind it being bigger because I have it in my intentions that I'm going to start. It's going to stop for a while, and then I'm going to continue building because I'm going to get the money as I go along. If that is the position that you're coming at, then I do understand, and that's a reasonable approach to it, because you have a plan. But if you don't start with a plan, and me here you are telling me, say, why a $20 million I have, and I have to build 2 apartments or 3 apartments or even 4 apartments, I can't put you in that position where I know that I am setting you up to fail. Right? It would be unreasonable of me, right? It's not a good position. Yeah, it would be unreasonable. It would be unreasonable of me to do that, because I know for a fact that you are not going to be able to build it, and you're probably going to put up block and cement and steel, especially when you're coming back to retire. You know, that is a very, wait, I say, look at it this way. If I know that you are coming back to retire and you have a budget, and that budget is that $20 million, and you don't have no money at all, no more money, right? with that budget. You can build the 2 apartment with the budget, and you are waiting, you are banking on that as your retirement. You're saying, okay, I'm going to build one side and then the other side I'm going to rent, and that is going to generate income for me so that I can live comfortably, and it's, you know, it's possible. If I put it in your head so you can actually build it with that, it can cause big problem for you. Can you imagine somebody who come back with only that $20 million there, and them decides they're going to build an apartment, and in the middle of that, money run out. Them don't have no money. Them stuck in a Jamaica now because them return. Them have to either go back now to go work, right? And if them retire, you understand? It's a ticklish situation, because if you're not careful, you run into problems. Somebody who is coming back to retire should not be in a position where them spend off all of them money and them don't have no more money left, and them don't have somewhere to live, right? That is wickedness. Right? Wickedness. A lot of situations like that may arise if you don't attack it from the right position. So for me personally, if I was thinking about it and I know, say, boy, I come back to Jamaica, I want to know how much to build. Okay, I have 20 million, it's going to take X amount to build the house. Alright, no problem. Let me start put things into play so that I may be able to have the actual money that I need to build. So it's not from a position of me telling you, boy, you have to go pay me all your money and all of that. I'm telling you from a position of to get you to start thinking about it, think about it critically, think about it reasonably, think about it more realistically, so that you can actually get it done and do it properly. And if you don't come to me to design, fine. Because at the end of the day, I would have known that, you know, I gave you the information and you used it and it worked for you. Alright, that's the reason behind it. Anyways, I'm babbling. Peace out. See you next time. Thanks for watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification.
There's no need to complicate things. Let's stick to the basics.